Greetings folks, it's about 9:30 in the morning. Unfortunately it's a bright sunny day. Would rather have had some cloud. Supposed to get to a maximum of 11 today, 11 or 12. The 27th is it, the August, Saturday 27th, 2022, so late winter. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is Trachycarpus fortunei, pretty much the most cold tolerant trunking palm in the world. When I bought it, I bought one, this one was given to me, but I bought one that's got some weeds in it. Here, we'll just do some weeding while we're here. Weeds. It was about $19 for one in a pot about this big, tiny bit bigger than that. That was a free one. So I don't know, that pot holds about 2 litres, it's about 6-inch diameter. I grew it on in a bigger pot. I use a 10-litre bucket because it's cheaper than plant pots. Drill holes in the bottom. Only use round buckets without a shaped pouring spout. I grew it on in a larger pot for a few years, and then I planted it here. Sorry, you can't see it at the bottom. That's a 42-litre tub containing a dwarf flax. A neighbour had a broken concrete tub with a dwarf flax in it, and they asked me to dump it. I said, well, can I keep the plant? So I put that in a 42-litre plastic tub. I think that's a male because it's flowered every year for about the last 5 years and never any seeds. And there are a scattering of Trachycarpus fortunei all around Christchurch. There's some couple of cotton palms in there which are stunted, effectively stuck in 40-litre plastic tubs. There's a range of stuff here that's, some of it's slowly dying because it doesn't get enough sun and all sorts. There was an extra in there. Are you counting them? You've got to take a drink every time. I don't care if it's whiskey or coffee, every time you hear an that one doesn't count. Cocos palms, Trachycarpus romanzophilum, a few of them. Some have died over the 10 or so years I've had them, more than 10 years, I don't know. A couple of liver stoners in there. The unique Feijoa. Unique is truly self-fertile. Whenever you buy a Feijoa and the label says it's partially self-fertile, that is the advertising man's way of saying it's not very bloody self-fertile at all. Unique is truly self-fertile. One by itself will give you heaps of fruits. They're a little bit smaller than some other brands, some other varieties. They'll also help cross-pollinate everything else. Now I'm going to come behind the camera now for a while. Can't really quite see it. There's a banana passion fruit in the ground there. I've had to trim it a bit. Up close to the brick wall, it staggered a little bit its first winter, but then it got going so good it needed a little bit of a prune. As we come around, and I do apologise, unfortunately we have a sunny day. In fact, I might have to move the camera to get out of the glare. That's the tropical passion fruit. That's the one that they will own. That's the only one they'll sell you here in the South Island, even though 90% of them die. That one has lived so far. This is its first winter in the ground. It grew really well in summer. Partially what's killed it is smoke and heat, because the apartment, the flat next door, burnt, totally gutted. That was 5 months ago. The insurance have sat on their fat asses and done pretty much nothing in 5 months. The people had just bought it, so it had just been fully valued for the mortgage, bank loan and all that sort of thing, and they just bought it and it burnt out, and yet here we are 5 months on, the insurance are still just arguing about the costs of rebuild and that. So 5 months has just been pissed away. The only thing they've done is the asbestos clean-up. These units were built in 1984, and at the time some bright spark said, "Hey, would you like us to put asbestos in your ceiling paint? It's a really good idea." And whoever was paying for the place when that was built said, oh yes, oh yes, please, we'll have a double dose of that. That sounds lovely, tasty. As you see, the firewall stopped the fire proceeding any further, but it did affect the, I believe that's called soffit, the bit up where the roof eaves overhang. So that probably needs replacing as well, but goodness knows how much the insurance will fight on that, because of course each unit has different insurers. So that needs a complete foundation rebuild. So exterior walls, the whole roof, and obviously the incomplete interior. And as I say, for 5 months I've done nothing except I've had the approved asbestos clean-up crew in there and removed, vacuumed it out, because the ceiling paint had asbestos with it, purely for cosmetic reasons, and they were doing that up until the mid-80s. Oh look, there's a cast oil there, leaf not quite killed off by the frost, just by the base of the TV aerial. I have and I can see either a mandarin or a grapefruit. I've got the grapefruit's in a 40-litre tub, the mandarin is in a 10-litre bucket. They really need to go in the ground, but they aren't. That is a canary palm in the big tub there. I think I was given that big tub. Right, and the sun's just getting too much for us. There's a narrow border strip garden along the fence. I've had grapevines there. They've sort of half died, and anyway, obviously at the moment they haven't got leaves because it's still late winter. And some kind of, I don't know, it's not an iris, some kind of strappy leaf plant with a flower has just popped up and grown. There are some marigolds along there, the English or pot marigold, because if the peasants were starving in the old days, you could boil the leaves up in a pot like cabbage, and it's better than eating mud. So the calendula is, I believe, the Latin name, the English or pot marigold, because it was a survival food source in times of scarcity in peasant days. The other family known as marigolds, two completely unrelated plants, is the tagetes, which all come from South America, even if some of them are called African. They came via South Africa, but all of the other marigolds are from South America. The other ones with the ferny leaf, the calendula or English pot marigold, which is not there because they'll sprout up as seedlings in spring, are European. So there we go, folks. That's the best I can do on a bright sunny day when I would have rather it had been a cloudy day. This is Catherine, and over and out for now.